This topic is called translating a sentence into a multi-step inequality. Multi-step just means that with the variable, we're going to be either multiplying or dividing with the variable, and we'll be either adding or subtracting on the same side of the inequality as the variable. So we're going to kind of keep a list of English words and their translations off to the side, which is something you might want to include in your notes to kind of help you with this translating English into math language. So PS, please subscribe to my channel and like any videos that are helpful to you. So I like to translate straight across. Now, when we see words like sum, difference, product, and quotient, that means that there's going to be two things that we're going to have to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So let's go, we'll just write really quick that sum means add, difference is subtract, product is times, and quotient is divide. Now we like to put them in order unless it's multiply. Then if you have a number and a variable, put the number first. It's just convention and it's just what mathematicians do. So we have the sum, which means there are going to be two things that we're adding together. And the way you find those two things is look for the word and the very next time you see the word and. So we have of a number times 8 and. So this and right here is where your plus sign is going to go. So we have our plus sign, and before the plus sign, it tells you the first thing that you're adding, and it's a number times 8. So times means multiply. We don't know what the number is. Anytime it says a number, you're going to put in your variable. So they tell us to use a variable W. So we're going to do W times 8. Now, like I said earlier, you want to put that number in front of the variable. So we want 8W. Then we have our and, which is where our plus goes for the sum, and we have 30. When it says at most, so at most means it can't be more than that number, but it could be equal to. So that's a less than or equal to. While we're here, we'll put at least, because that's the opposite of at most, and that's greater than or equal to. Well, it's not the exact opposite, but it's similar. And then we have no more than and no less than. So if it's no more than, that's the same as at least. No, at most. No more than means it can't be greater than, and no less than. It can still be it can still be equal to, oopsies, let me just fix that real quick. No less than means that it has to be greater than. Okay, so R says at most, and we can look at our notes, that's less than or equal to -19. So we just type that in exactly as we see it here. 8W plus 30 less than or equal to -19. Okay, we're going to do another one, and I'm going to try to leave my list here and just, let's see, where's my eraser? There we go. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we have the difference. So see the difference right here. Oh, okay, so this is kind of tricky. Twice means times 2. So we have twice means times 2. So we're doing twice the difference. Now, difference, you're going to have two numbers, and there's going to be a minus sign. Because we're doing twice the difference, we have to have both of those numbers in our difference, and we want to do 2 times that. So whenever it says twice and if it's one of these 4 fundamental properties of mathematics, we're going to have to put it in parentheses. So we look for our the word and after the word difference. Here it is. So before the word and is what goes on the left of your minus sign, and the 9 goes after. So you want to make sure you put it in the right order. It says a number, and we have a numbers are variable, which they give us a C, is at least, so we look at our notes, that's greater than or equal to -28. So then we can type in 2 and put our parentheses in, C minus 9. It's kind of tricky when they do that, when you got to have part of it in parentheses. So you got to read it really carefully. There we go. And we'll try one more for kicks and giggles. Okay, so here's the thing when they say the word subtracted from. I don't know how to write this in the notes, but when you have subtracted from, like, so the 5, you're going to have a -5 because you're going to be taking away 5 from something. And it tells us that we're taking it away from the product. So we're going to be having a product here, like at the beginning, and then we're going to take 5 away from it. So, how can we put that in our notes? So we could just put this example. So 5 subtracted from, and we'll make it simple. We'll just put x instead of, that's x minus 5. So we just want to make sure when you see that word subtracted from, that you're putting that number at the end and you're minusing it. Now we have product, which means there's going to be 2 things being multiplied. So we find our and we have 6 and a number. So we're going to have 6 times, and our number we're supposed to use is W. Is less than, so that's just the less than symbol, -24. Okay, so we'll type that in and then we'll add less than and greater than to our list, because that's something that we all need to know the difference between. Okay, so in our notes, we're just going to add this really quick and then and the lesson will be done. So, okay, let me erase this. Okay. Okay, so we have less than, oh, that's weird. I just have check mark. Okay, where's my writing? There we go. That's less than. And I like to look at the symbol from the left to the right. So when you have the pointy end on the left, that's less than. And if it's open on the left of your symbol, that's greater than. So if you can think of a way to remember which is which, that's great. But you got to figure out, make sure that you know the difference between those two. And it's good to just have it in your notes so you can practice it. Okay, that's the end of the lesson.